What's going on, everybody? Happy Saints game day. It's yours truly, the one, the only, Who Dat Davis. And if you don't know, you're going to know that over here, we bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold. Thank you for tuning in and listening to this edition of State of Black and Gold podcast. It's going to be a short podcast. Just want to give my final thoughts and update you guys on some news if you haven't heard already. Not only has Sean Payton confirmed earlier this morning that Taysom Hill will be starting for the New Orleans Saints against the Atlanta Falcons, it has been determined that Marshawn Lattimore has been ruled out with an abdomen injury in this game. Now, that changes the dynamic of the potential outcome for this game because Marshawn Lattimore is supposed to be going head-to-head with one of the all-time great receivers in Julio Jones. Now his backup, Patrick Robinson, who has been playing pretty well this season, will need to step up and fill that big hole. And how will Dennis Allen respond to that? Honestly, if it were me, I'd give him some safety help on some key third downs, some key drives to keep him from being a threat down the field with Marcus Williams, who's been playing well over these past 3 weeks. That's just my opinion on it, but I'm more interested about what Taysom Hill is going to be doing. Now, Saints Twitter and Saints media as a whole has been going crazy and already ruling out Taysom Hill. I covered this a little bit earlier in the week, but everybody needs to just relax, take a pill, and just let Taysom Hill be Taysom Hill. He may not have the best game, and that just is what it is. He hasn't had his first career start since coming to the NFL. So it's really interesting to see how Sean Payton draws up a scheme to fit Taysom Hill's play style. We know he's one of the best offensive minds in the NFL. That's undisputed, next to maybe Kyle Shanahan and Bill Belichick. He's a top 3 coach. How many turnovers should we expect in this game? I expect 2. I expect one being a fumble and one being an interception by Taysom Hill, probably by A.J. Terrell or maybe even Isaiah Oliver. But that's not what – I don't think that's going to determine the game for the New Orleans Saints. We already know the reps are going to be a nasty factor. But honestly, I think Taysom Hill is going to be fine. I think Taysom Hill is going to come away with 220 passing yards and close to 100 rushing yards. That's how I think Sean Payton is going to use him. I think the run game is going to be fine. We got Traquan Smith back, who took a nasty shot against the 49ers and somehow managed to clear concussion protocol a lot earlier than even I was expecting. So once again, shout out to Traquan Smith for making it back. A puzzling move that still has me questioning why the Saints have Malcolm Roach ruled as inactive in favor of Ryan Glasgow, a signing to the Saints practice squad, a former Bengals defensive tackle. He's recorded 41 tackles in over 21 games, but he also hasn't played since October. So I'm really puzzled on why they would want Ryan Glasgow over Malcolm Roach, who's been playing pretty well. He's been doing everything you've asked of him. So it remains to be seen how impactful, if any, we'll see out of Ryan Glasgow. Saints have also signed Garrett Griffin to the 53-man roster. They're going to get a heavy dose of the run, probably out of Latavius Murray. I hope we see more of Latavius Murray than Alvin Kamara in the run game because I don't want Alvin Kamara re-aggravating that foot injury. He's been doing a lot of heavy lifting. So it remains to be seen what kind of presence will Latavius Murray have in this game. I think Traquan Smith, Deontay Harris, we're going to see maybe 1 to 2 deep balls. 1 to Traquan Smith, 1 to Deontay Harris. I think even 1 to Emmanuel Sanders. I think Michael Thomas is still going to work that middle of the field to what he's always been doing. I don't think that's going to change any. But the fact that we're getting the Saints receiving core pretty much healthy, that's a plus as covering the Taysom Hill. He knows all these guys are playmakers on the outsides and the slot. I think he's going to rely on them quite a bit. First, we're going to see a lot of these short intermediate routes, probably the first quarter. And if he starts to get a rhythm, then maybe Sean Payton will have him rip the ball down the field. He may be 30 years old, but he can rip that ball 40, 45, maybe even 50 yards down the field. So it remains to be seen. Like, people don't understand that just because Taysom Hill is 30 years old, he came into the league when he was 25. He's only been in the league for about 5 years, going on 6. So Taysom Hill is still in his prime, just like Cam Newton was in his prime. If Cam Newton can get support and them having a resurgence of a year, why can't Taysom Hill? Why can't our Saints fan base get behind Taysom Hill like they got behind Teddy Bridgewater after he won his first 2 games? That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we're so quick to write this man off, and we don't even know what kind of skill set, what type of performance he's going to have. Now, I will go on record to say I was hoping for Jameis Winston, but just because I was pro Jameis Winston doesn't mean I was anti Taysom Hill. Whatever quarterback Sean Payton went with, I was going to be behind 100% because you don't want to doubt the genius of Sean Payton. Sometimes that can be to a fault, but I don't think that's going to be the case this game. I think that the Saints defensive line is going to have an impact to help Taysom Hill out in the secondary. It's going to take away Julio Jones. It's going to force Matt Ryan and Raheem Morris to beat the Saints secondary with the likes of Calvin Ridley and Russell Gage. So this is going to be a very, very interesting NFC South battle. As far as other news around the NFC South, it's been ruled that Teddy Bridgewater is going to be inactive. You're going to see XFL star P.J. Walker. I'm interested in seeing how he does. And if he plays lights out, Teddy Bridgewater may be in trouble. He may be in trouble, but I don't know. It remains to be seen. These 2 quarterbacks in NFC South, Taysom Hill and P.J. Walker, I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited for these guys. The future is promising. Excuse me. If they can go out here and ball, if they can seize these opportunities, I mean, the sky's the limit. I mean, it is what it is. We got some people who came in a little early, like Jerry Poor. Shouts out to Ice Cream Man 504. Who dat to you? Jerry Poor says, I'll holler you later after the game. We know he's going to be watching the game, so he'll be here in case anybody comes in after the stream is over, most likely. 5 p.m. Central Time. We will be here for a post-game show. We're going to talk about analysis, in-game stats, and we're going to have a guest, Miss Arlene. You may have heard her name float around in the Louisiana area, the NOLA area, and if you've seen her on Twitch, Twitter especially. She's a good associate of mine. I love her thoughts. I've checked out her link. She's a mental coach. So it's going to be interesting to hear that type of perspective from her. Brett North says, does Pat Robinson start in place of Lattimore today? Yeah, that is correct. Marshawn Lattimore has been ruled officially out, and Patrick Robinson will be in place of Marshawn Lattimore. He's going to be up against Julio Jones most likely, but I wouldn't be surprised if we see Janoris Jenkins in that spot and him going up against Calvin Ridley. But like I said, if Patrick Robinson does end up across from Julio Jones, you can expect some safety help from Marcus Williams to take away the threat that is Julio Jones. Even though he's pretty much good against double coverage, this Saints secondary has been tighter over the last 3 weeks. So you can effectively take him out of the game and give your Saints defensive line some extra time to get to Matt Ryan. I think Marcus Davenport is going to come away with a sack. Trey Hendrickson is going to come away with a sack and a half. And I think even Cam Jordan's going to get right in this game. Last time these guys met up was over in Atlanta. Cam Jordan had 4 sacks in that game. So he really loves getting at the Matt Ryan, putting him on his back. I think Cam Jordan is in the right place at the right time to get his 2020 season started and in a bit of a resurgence because we're really going to need him with Marshawn Lattimore out. So, yes, Patrick Robinson will be starting this game against Julio Jones. But like I said, I would not be surprised if you see him line up against Calvin Ridley. The pressure is on for the Saints secondary. I can't stress this enough that Matt Ryan is one of the passing yardage leaders this season. It's because of that 1-2 punch he has in Jones and Ridley. Ridley is a fast guy. Julio Jones isn't as fast, but he's a physical guy. He can high point the ball. He works the middle of the field. He did so against Green Bay. He's done so recently in the last 2 weeks. Calvin Ridley can take the top off of defense. So Dennis Allen's going to have his hands full. If the defensive front can't get home and get Matt Ryan on his back with at least 5, maybe 6 sacks, this game is going to be tighter than most expect. I originally had the Saints starting as a 24-17 favorite, but with Marshawn Lattimore out, I don't know if that's going to be the case. I may end up having a difference of opinion, but I'm going to stick to it for continuity's sake. I still think the Saints team is going to be fine, especially defensively. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Taysom Hill has a bit of a underperformance. And a lot of Saints fans need to understand that the fact that this is going to be his first game as a starter, don't expect too much out of Taysom Hill. Okay, he still needs time to effectively gel with the first timers, the first starters. I expect Taysom Hill to have a passing touchdown and a rushing touchdown. But that's it. That's all for me right now. Like I said, this is going to be something of a short podcast. Oh, before I forget, it's been, and I had to highlight this because it just came out and I'm laughing at it. It's been said that the Atlanta Falcons have rescinded some tickets, and that's kind of sad. It really is sad. Atlanta can't even show up and show out to support their own team, and yet they want to dog us and say that we're the ain'ts, paper bags, and all this kind of stuff, man. Like, come on, bro. If you can't even show up and show out to your own team, whereas the New Orleans Saints travel in packs, whether it be a home game or an away game, if you can't even support your own team, like, don't even talk. Don't even talk, okay? You're just as bad as Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Y'all need to take a seat and get your own fan base right before you try coming at the loyalty of the New Orleans Saints. Granted, we have some fair weather fans. We definitely have our share of fair weather fans, but we're 10 times better than what little fan base you Atlanta Falcons have. So that's it. That's all. Come back 5 p.m. Central for the post-game show. I'll most likely do a halftime show. Don't know. It depends on how the first half goes with Taysom Hill and the offense. But for now, like I said, as always, if you don't know, you will know. We bleed black and gold until we are dead and cold.